We are going to learn about the Minotaur.
What how men even wear jewelry?
This has been amazing so far. So these are busts, what they think that were probably busts of Aphrodite. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning from Greece. We are in Crete. This is our last day here in Heracleon. We are moving on to Rhythmos today. But before we leave Heracleon, we are going to visit the Knossos Palace. We are going to walk in the labyrinth. We are going to learn about the Minotaur, and it's going to be a day full of Greek mythology and history and culture, and I'm so looking forward to it. And so I hope that you are too. And after we have breakfast, we are going to get on our coach and head over to the palace, spend a little time there, and then we'll take our private transfer over to Rhythmos, where we're going to spend a couple of days there. So I hope that you will join us today. Let's go learn a little bit about Greek culture and mythology. I hope you'll come along with us.
On your left-hand side, this is the first person ever to start digging here. His first name was Minos, and he was the first person to discover the seat of the legendary King Minos. It was fated for someone named Minos to discover the Palace of Knossos. And the peacocks are driving us crazy. Yes, this time of the year they're so loud. On your left-hand side is Sir Arthur Evans, who was the person that continued the excavation. Minos couldn't because a revolution broke out against the Ottoman Turks. No. Have you met anybody named Minos? Everyone is George, Kostas, Michalis, right? And yet, this person's name was Minos. So, he was a landowner from a very well-to-do family in Heracleon. And he was able to send clay jars to the British Museum. And this is what triggered an interest in the excavations of Crete and brought Sir Arthur Evans here, who was British, and with his own money he paid for the land and for the workers. So he revealed the Palace of Knossos and was able to make the connection between Knossos and the labyrinth, and nothing was taken to Britain. Everything was kept in the museum that we're going to visit together today, later on. And he also donated to the Greek state. So he's a benefactor, in other words. So we have the bust of Arthur Evans here to thank him for his contributions to the prehistoric archaeology of the island. Can you see a raised walk parallel to the west facade? You can even go on the platform if you like.
I can come.
You see, this raised walk is authentic. It dates back to 1900 BC.
Wow.
That's almost 4,000 years ago. So almost 4,000 years ago, this raised walk connected the west courtyard with the theater.
Oh, wow.
And so you can also see a room with a red-colored floor. This is where the king or his officials would come out to welcome their guests. The doors were located exactly where you can see the white stone. So white stone on that? Yeah. So double wooden doors closed off the building. Now I want you to come up closer to me and stand here with me in the corridor. You can go around if you don't want to go up and down the steps. Come this side. It's easier so you don't go up and down the steps. And let's stand here for a minute and look opposite us. Can you see that there is shade?
Yes.
These recesses and projections provide shade. There is a bench where people would sit on and wait for their turn to enter. However, although the stones are original, the binding agent has been replaced. you are also looking at the reconstructions of the Minoan columns. These columns are from the 1930s. Do you see its red column? You know that although these columns are restored, it's not imagination. We know this is what they look like. When we go to the museum, I will show you authentic frescoes that represent columns. So why would that be? No, we don't know. Maybe they would use cypress trees. Do you know cypress trees have the property not to rot? Yes, this is a really good quality wood. So they would cut down cypress trees. Why would they put them upside down? Maybe we should just say it looked nicer to them, but it would have been for aesthetic reasons. Obviously, you understand the use of wood is because they were trying to build against earthquakes. Because the Palace of Knossos was destroyed over 7 times in earthquakes, and it was rebuilt again and rebuilt again. One of the destructions was due to the volcanic eruption of Santorini, but it was rebuilt even after the destruction. So Knossos existed from 1900 to 1300 BC. This is the final destruction. 1300, gradually the building was abandoned and nature took over. You know that Crete is not a volcanic island. It's what we call a continental island. This was a 3-storied house. Come over to where I am standing to look below you. And this is a good angle to see the house. We call it the South House. We don't know who lived in it, but this must have been an important VIP. The closer one lives to this palatial building, the more important one is. And you can see the original stones that were cut perfectly and fitted one on top of the other. When smaller stones were used, a binding agent was necessary. Okay, do you see the steps? So the upper step is authentic. Then there's a concrete one. The continuation is authentic. That was just a veranda. So there was a stone stairway leading up to the veranda that would have had a view of the river. That's the river of Lycia. This is a good location for a palatial building, for a town. It's on a hill, and around there are 2 navigable rivers. One on the south, look at the holy mountain of the Minoans also in the distance with a big sanctuary. So this is south, and there was another navigable river on the east. Certainly the Egyptian civilization goes way further back in time than Knossos. Okay? So Knossos is almost 4,000 years ago, when the pyramids had already been built. Of course, all the technology used for building the pyramids was imported. No civilization exists in a vacuum. There was a strong influence from the pharaohs of Egypt. Nonetheless, the Minoan people kept their own national character. So their language is different, their religion is different, but there is an influence in the artwork. I want you to notice the details on their loincloths. So these are Minoan men. A dark red color was used for representing men, while a color was used for painting women. You know how it goes. Women protect their skin. They're mostly indoors. They're not farmers. They're not hunters. So that's why it makes sense that women are in a lighter color. But look how men even wear jewelry. Look, they're wearing anklets and bracelets and armlets. Look at all the details on their loincloth. And do you realize that this fresco would remind us that they couldn't come in empty-handed? Everybody entering Knossos had to have, is it a gift? Or could these be taxes paid in kind? In the museum which we will visit, you will realize that there were no coins. This is so old. It's before the alphabet. It's before coins. Okay? No coins yet had been invented or minted. No currency. The currency is rather different. We could say that we did have a currency, huge copper ingots. This building was supposed to bring people in. People were not closed out. This was not a castle. This wasn't a fortress. This was a town with a palatial building in the middle, and this courtyard was like the square of a modern town. This concrete, but because there were 2 issues. He had to protect the floor, which was original, from 1900 BC. or perhaps he would have to remove the original throne to take it to the museum.
Sure.
So it was decided, rather than remove the throne that was found in situ, to leave it here exhibited, however, cover it so that it would be protected from the elements. You see what has happened to the rest of the stones that you were looking at, the gypsum stone. It is disintegrating. So, we are now going to visit the most important room of Knossos, in which you will see the oldest throne of Europe. It's the most ancient throne, which dates back to 1900 BC. It is authentic, ergonomic, it means that it fits behind it here the right size. And this is not a private room. This is not a room for lounging. It's an official room. So you have to sit upright. There are benches which are authentic all around. So there is a waiting room. You will go to them. And in the waiting room there is a wooden chair which is a copy made by Sir Arthur Evans. So the floor is colorful. It is amazing. The middle part is made of small pieces of stone placed on the ground as found in nature. So in between the empty space, red color was filled in. But all around you'll see the authentic, again, gypsum stones. Look how they are preserved here compared to gypsum, which is exposed to weather conditions. See the fresco? The griffins. These are mythical creatures that have the head of the bird as the symbolism of the sky. The griffin of Crete has the body of a lion, a symbol of power. Most important of all, however, is the tail, which is that of a snake. The snake is a symbol of the earth and its fertility. So it's not a symbol of evil. Always remember, in Crete there are no poisonous snakes, so they were not afraid of snakes. Alright, so I will stop talking for a few minutes now, so that you take your time and look inside through both windows. Give yourself a few minutes so your eyes are darkening there. So there are steps leading into a sunken area in which people would walk into for special initiation ceremonies. And there is a wooden door that leads into the treasury. I will show you the artifacts that were found into the treasury in the Archaeological Museum.
This has been amazing so far. I hope you guys are enjoying this too. I mean, it's definitely not as breathtaking when you're here, but it's pretty special to see that that throne in that room was the original throne. That is amazing, and I love that they kept it there and they just built this building to kind of protect it. So that's pretty amazing. And I just want to show you the landscape around us. Isn't that beautiful? All of the olive trees in the distance. It's gorgeous.
Stairway that leads down into the royal apartments. So the west wing was the official wing. The east wing was the residential area. This is where they lived, in the east wing, in other words. Why would they leave the floors underground? It's cooler down there. And it's not really underground. It's underground on one side, and you can see the retaining wall of the central courtyard. But on the other side, there was a view of the river. Okay? So remember, they didn't have a sea view, they had a river view. Do you see on the left-hand side the bench in the wall? That's the waiting room of the toilet. So there is a bench that you can sit and wait for your turn to use the facilities.
That painting that we just saw.
It's a copy. Sorry, the paintings are copies. The original one you will see on the first floor of the Archaeological Museum. But you know, in the museum we're not allowed to pose, to take pictures like this. So I will show you the symbols of Poseidon. For the moment, because I see the other big group come down carefully. Imagine on the right hand side, these would have been private houses with a lot of workshops. Workshops can be easily identified because one finds saws made of metal, bronze for cutting wood, but also potter's wheels. And of course, the workshops are always overlooking the river because you need not the view only, you need the water for the potter's workshops. For making clay, you need a lot of water. For keeping the temperature stable in the kilns that were used for melting copper and tin into bronze, you need the river. So in those days, there was a navigable river. You can only now see the riverbed where you see some cultivations and some scruffy constructions. So hold on to the railing and come down. The reason that there is no water anymore is because a dam has been constructed to catch the water. But in those days, imagine a beautiful blue navigable river, and you can see the steps that lead out towards the river. While under this area, you can see the depth of the sewer. We cannot go down. There are original steps that go down into the workshop areas. We will actually, on the contrary, access the private room of the queen. You see how deep it is? They went into a lot of trouble to take the dirty water out from the private toilets and bathrooms into a septic tank. It's not a big deal to have a septic tank. It's not nuclear science. It's just a hole in the ground. So they had very high standards of hygiene. The dirty water from the toilet and the bathroom was taken down to this hole in the ground. If your septic tank doesn't have a paved floor, the water will seep towards the river. But it'll be purified. It won't smell bad. All right, come further in. As we go inside, on the right-hand side, there is a small indoor courtyard for the queen. Remember, that courtyard up there was for everybody. This is much more private on the right-hand side. This is where you could sit and drink your eggshell cups. Okay, this is a private area. And as we go further in, on the right, you will see the fresco of the dancing girl. And below the wall, opposite you, can you see blue roses and white and red spirals? So there are frescoes, which were found here, which were removed to go to the museum. And there are layers of frescoes, one on top of the other. Because this is a building that's existed for 600 years. So obviously, when they're refurbishing, even back in the day, they would redo the walls. This is the door. The first one that you saw. It's the only entrance and exit. The only one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors. All lead to dead ends. So you go down, there is a window here. You go down this corridor behind this massive wall, which is, by the way, authentic. And there is a dead end. It's the toilet. You go to the toilet, you come out again. The next door, it leads to the bathroom with a bathtub, you come out again. The next door leads to a boudoir. What's a boudoir? Well, we have found there bronze mirrors with ivory handles and tweezers and a comb. It's the boudoir. It's where she would put on her makeup, probably. The next room is where we have found an ivory acrobat. And beads, golden beads. So it must be the treasury, in other words. But all these are dead ends. It's like a labyrinth in there. It's very complicated, the river. And I believe, again, this is a good viewpoint to look at the authentic walls. All these are original. And these are more, of course, again, royal apartments and areas for preparing food, as we know, kitchen utensils which were found in here. There is also a stone workshop, a jeweler's workshop, and even a potter's workshop, and a school. So you can read it on the information board. It says schoolroom. Why would we say it was a schoolroom? Easy. Clay tablets were found that were being used, and clays were preserved in time. Now, as I promised, I have to show you the symbol of Poseidon. There it is, on the wall. We have the fertility goddess, yes, but gradually we also have the introduction of Zeus and Poseidon and Hades. Do you see what I'm talking about? Here it is. The trident. Trident of Poseidon. Question. What do we call big clay jars? Gigantic. There is a Greek word for you. Giant is a Greek word, yes. Giant is a Greek word. Also gigantic, yeah. So mind your step. We will see the biggest clay jars now on the right-hand side. But they took their time when making them to even have rope decorations, because ropes were passed through the handle, so that inspires them. Seeing them in where they were found makes a difference. And if you go all the way in, let's go single file. On the right, we walk in. On the left, we walk out. So let's go do like a circle.
1900 BC?
Yes, and there is an information board that you can take pictures of the dates.
Oh,
1900 BC, then there was a destruction in 1700, but it was rebuilt.
oh.
Almost 4,000 years ago. Look how massive these walls are. I mean, they're just walls. I want you, however, to have an understanding of how such thick walls meant that the rooms were cool.
Very
Oh, isn't it?
Get our group walking.
We are going to go past the customs house now, and we're finishing our visit in the theater. So we refer to this area as the customs house because it was the checkpoint for imports and exports. And all this area that we walked through is where archaeologists found 3,000 clay tablets. So it's the archives area. You can take a last picture, a final picture of the head of the bull. If you like, yeah? Well, you can now. As you go up, we will leave and you can stand closer to take a picture of the head of the bull, which, as I said, is, I mean, this is a copy, but wait until you see the original one in the museum. It's magnificent. You can tell it is, who's asking me when you arrived? Slightly raised. Okay, so these are the seats of the theater. This road connects the town with the theater. Do you see a fork in the road? So imagine processions of men and women coming from the opposite direction, and then the VIPs would bear to the right to walk past this white stone, which are the horns of the bull, to the platform, which is a royal box. This is the best viewpoint. Imagine it with an awning. And then when everyone was assembled, the ceremonies and the music would start. Because we have found musical instruments. What happens when you play music? You sing and you dance. Let's go to the dancing floor. Yeah. Come all the way down. These are seats, which I know they don't look very comfortable, but if you were to come here, wouldn't you bring your stools and your cushions and make yourselves comfortable? Probably. Yeah? So, yeah, they're made of stone. This theater is a stone theater. It doesn't have acoustics. It may not have comfortable seats. It's not so big. That's true. However, it is the first time that we have a stone theater. It's the idea that is important. The first people that had the idea of constructing a stone theater were the Minoan people of Crete. So we are walking towards the shade of the cypress tree, and this is where we will finish our visit. Once you've done that, how about this side? Does this look more like a theater? This is the correct angle to see the theater.
Yeah.
So now you know the very first theaters ever built in the Mediterranean were the Minoan theaters. The very first pipes were the Minoan pipes. The very first paved roads were the Minoan roads 4,000 years ago. Yes, the Romans absorbed all of this. And the Romans spread it all over the Mediterranean world, while the Minoans were only on Crete and maybe some smaller islands of the Aegean. But it's the first in the world, yes.
It's amazing. In the world. In the whole.
They knew what they were doing, yes.
When did they find this?
So this building was discovered by archaeologists in the beginning of the 20th century. Not so long ago, but almost 100 years ago now, right?
Really?
Yeah.
That's it. So that one, wow.
And their discoverer was Minos, Minos, and then Sir Arthur Evans. The surprise was not that there was an archaeological site here. That wasn't the surprise. We know that ancient Greeks, so many other archaeological sites had been discovered. The surprise was that it's even so much older than the Parthenon, so much older than Mycenae. Do you realize what I mean? So before the Romans, before the classical Greeks, these Minoan people were the first to discover so many of the technological achievements that we now know. And I think the theater, okay, it's very important because it shows you the social life. You have to come together. You have to party together. It's a community. It's a community. Extra fancy jewelry. And this is lapis lazuli and gold. We don't have lapis on Crete. It was imported.
Look at Would you look at it, Audrey? 3000 BC.
Cornelia. And that's a stone it's local stone. Yeah, it's local in Croatia too.
Also in different locations on the island. It seems that there was a big middle class that could afford gold, which we don't have on Crete. Gold was imported like this. These are thin strips of gold that they imported, and here we have the jewelers' workshops in which they made amazing craftsmanship. Look at this bee pendant. This is the most famous one. It represents two bees storing a drop of honey in a beehive.
Really, we are so spoiled. We just go and get the honey from the supermarket. But the honey is gold color. So we believe that it is a symbolism of affluence, a symbolism of fertility, a symbolism of the matriarchal society because of the queen bee. And I must continue by telling you that this was found in a female burial in the area of Maya. So the queen of Maya, possibly, or a princess or a VIP, would have been buried, because it's from a burial, with this beautiful piece of gold. When someone important died, they did have music. Look at the musical instrument that was used to keep the rhythm in the chant. It's called the sistra. I would also like to point out the white marble statuettes and the black ones, which are a different type of stone. So petrographical analysis leads us to believe that this was all imported. So these are from the islands of the Cyclades, Paros, Knossos, Mykonos. So this is the type of marble that we do not have on Crete. So I also want to point out the black stone, the black statuettes, possibly coming from Nubia. Don't they look so different? Yeah. This could be the Nubians, who were the ones that imported the gold to Crete.
So no gold was found on Crete at all?
No, no gold is found. No, it's all imported. So they imported gold and made beautiful jewelry. From here, you can see how beautiful the body is represented. This is not a statue standing still. That's why it's important. because they are showing movement. Because when we went to Knossos, we did see the first fresco, which is very static. It has more of an Egyptian look about it. But as they continue, they sort of move away from the Egyptian influence and create more movement for their artwork. Now, I also want to point out the boxer's riton. This is a ritual vase in which you don't have representations of warriors yet. No, it is athletes. So boxing and wrestling are represented in low relief on this vase. That's again 3,500 years ago. So you understand that they had athletic games rather than being warriors. And when you have a lot of people together for performances, athletic performances, then what do? You have to give the prize to the winners, and then what do? You have to party. Here's the wine press. How do you party without wine? This is where you put your grapes to be trodden on, and the juice extracted would have been fermented into wine. So we know for a fact, also because of residues that have been analyzed within the clay jars, which are original by the way, that they had red wine as well as white wine. Okay, so they exported wine from Crete 4,000 years ago, 3,500 years ago. When a lot of people come together, they have to feed them. These are huge, authentic cauldrons. It's a miracle that they have been preserved, because as I said, metal objects are not so common because the next people collected the metal and reused it, melted it down again.
See where it's been patched and...
So in this case, the roof collapsed and these were hidden. So they didn't actually go deeper down to take each and every object. I also want to show you another musical instrument, which is a lyre. Remember, we saw a theater, and they had music in the theaters. The ivory part of the lyre is preserved. And you can see women dancing in a circle. In the middle, the woman is playing a lyre. So women are also musicians. They are athletes, they are musicians. In the middle of this fresco, you can see two white feet and a beautiful hem of a dress, while on either side the men that are represented are facing the goddess in the middle point. Look at her manicure. So we know that the female is in the center. So women played a leading role in Minoan society. Copper ingots were used as a means of barter 3,500 years ago. So they needed copper, which they got from Cyprus, because we don't have copper on Crete, to bring in ivory, because we don't have ivory on Crete. So the Knossos and Christos, the other palaces, these were redistributional centers that control the economy. So as a farmer, you need tools, which you would get from these palaces. You take your products to the palace. As a carpenter, you go to the palace to get your saw for cutting wood, because the monopoly of metal was controlled by the palace. That was found in Knossos. I want you to take a picture of it from this side. Looking at it from here, you are taking a picture of the original eye made of rock crystal and red jasper. The nostrils were made of trident shell, while the horns were made of wood and covered with gold. They were never made of solid gold. So it has a hole in the back of the neck and a hole in the mouth. And they were holding it when walking in the processions towards the altar. It's a ritual base, just like the head of the lioness on the other side. And now, here they are, the famous women of Knossos, found very close to the room of the throne. Remember, where you saw the seat that was original. And they represent topless women holding snakes.
Yeah.
plus women are always attractive. So it is because it is a symbolism of fertility. But I want you to remember, didn't I show you in the very first room, 3000 BC, the pendant that represented the breast? The breast. It is not sexual, it is symbolic of fertility. So it's very important.
So is that
A kitty. That's a cat.
Okay.
That is a cat.
I love that.
So on the headdress of the female on the right, it is a wild cat, a cat. We say a wild cat, maybe just a cat. We do have wild cats on the mountains of Crete. So Samaria or Asterousia mountains, not that there are a lot, but now they are monitored with GPS by the scientists. So we want to protect them. So these represent dresses, Minoan fashion. So these dresses would have a proper top.
Yeah.
Compared to the snake priestesses who have their breast exposed.
It looks like they were almost corseted almost.
Yes, the tiny waist is emphasized. But you know, I told you, they all died young.
Yeah.
They didn't live very long.
What was the life expectancy?
The life expectancy back then would have been 35 to 40 years old, so they died quite young.
Wow.
And there was, especially women died young, and because of childbirth. And we know this because of the skeletal remains. It's not speculation. There is evidence of high infant mortality as well. So the miracle was modern medicine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is that their vases are amazingly beautiful.
Now, were they fired? Like
Yes, if you don't fire a clay vase, it cannot contain liquids.
Right.
Because clay is porous.
Right.
So they have to be fired and in kilns. And the question is, what type of fuel did they use? Easy in Crete. The leftovers of the crushed olives. You crush olives, you take olive oil, the leftovers. Like olive oil is flammable, so is the rest. In Greek it's called pyrina, which means in English the core. Pyrina is the pit and the skin also. Alright, now, I saw you looking at the skeleton. You see how we know that they are small people? You would have been a VIP back in the day because of your height. So smaller people, and they, as I said, they did not live very long, and they are always buried in the fetal position. Who was asking me about clay vases? You know, you cannot use...
me, probably.
You cannot use clay, even if clay vases are fired, you cannot use them forever for liquids. They will still become porous. They will absorb the liquid. So after, what do you do with an old vase? You bury someone in it. So these are vases in second use.
They're recycled.
They recycle, like recycling. So it's not unique to find burials within clay vases. It's over and over again. So, you are looking at a tiny vase on which we have the representation of a man that is holding the sword, trying to catch them. Do you see it? Yeah. It's evident, isn't it? That's the head of a bull.
Yeah.
So that is Theseus, the Athenian prince, who came to kill the Minotaur. And he wouldn't have managed had it not been for the two girls. There are two girls represented there. One is Ariadne, who gave him the clue to the labyrinth, and the other one is Phaedra, her sister, who gave him a piece of drugged bread with which he was able to put the monster to sleep. Okay, so this is the story of the Minotaur. But look at the date. This is 500 BC. This is new compared to the bullet I will now show you.
You just made it.
We just made it. Πολύ καλό το Maria, πολύ καλό. And you can see the eye, the ear, the nose, the ripples of the nose, the mouth is open. Look at his skin, his tongue is hanging out. So it is a symbol of power, in other words. On the right hand side is a grip, and it's in low relief.
Yeah.
It's not flat, but in low relief. So we have the prince of lilies, the griffin, the head of the bull in low relief, then come over further on, past the women in blue, olive trees and women in blue, women of the Minoan aristocracy, dolphins swimming through the seashell and the seaweed with two different types of blue color, a lighter blue and a darker blue. And here she is, the most beautiful princess. She's wearing lipstick.
Oh, right.
Ruby red lips. Such a beautiful eye. The bigger the eye, the higher the importance. With eyeliner and long black curly hair, even a curl in front of her forehead, and the royal knot. Do you see this red? Like it's like a knot.
Yeah.
Like a ribbon. This is a symbolism of hierarchy. So we call her the Parisienne, La Parisienne. It was found by Arthur Evans. He named her the Parisian because our grannies, when this was found, didn't wear makeup. They were all dressed in black after wars and revolutions. So it's a very modern name for a very ancient fresco.
All right, so we are in kind of where the Greek era kind of came about. And you can see Hades right here with the three-headed dog. And then we have the goddess of the underworld there. These are all original. It's incredible, isn't it? Wow, look at all the ornamentation. This is a marble statue of Athena, a statue of an Egyptian deity. Here we have a small statue of Aphrodite. It's like the perfect female form. Here's another small statue of Aphrodite. And look, Aphrodite's she's got rolls. You know? This is the perfect human form with rolls. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is the statue of Niobe, the killing of Niobe's children. Looks like there's more Aphrodite. Yeah, here's more Aphrodite. She wears a cloak. You can see some of her hair wrapped around her cliff. The cloak is wrapped around her torso, leaving as a goddess of love. Aphrodite is often depicted naked or half naked, and both the ends of her curls are visible on the shoulders. This is 2nd century AD. And there's another Aphrodite. So these are busts, what they think that were probably busts of Aphrodite. This is the marble of the bust of God the Dionysus. Same as this one. This is Pan, the god of the shepherds. But this is just incredible. Amazing. Is this a sarcophagus over here? Statues of mortals. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's a sarcophagus. It says that the lid formed into a steeply pitched gable roof, decorated richly in relief with themes relating to beliefs for the afterlife. You can see the bowl over there. This is the Roman period, the 3rd century AD. It's pretty incredible. All right, and we're getting ready to wrap up our tour. So now we're just taking a little walk. We're going to go over to a little vintage store. We're going to check it out a few minutes. Our lovely guide Lena is taking us to check out a little store. So we're going to see what a little antique store in Crete is like, but it's a beautiful day. I'm just going to kind of turn the camera around so you can join us on our walk. There's Mark. Beautiful day. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Are we all experts on Greek mythology now? No. But we learned actually a lot. We learned a lot. So here we are, our little antique shop.
I'll stay out here.
Antique shop.
Antique shop. Ah, wow. Ah, oh, they got flow blue up there. Some flow blue. Look at the bottles and oh, look at that. I'd love to have one of those bricks, but I don't think I should take that on the plane.
Maybe more inside.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Beautiful. And the old little army figures. Yeah, there's the Minotaur. There's some of the fertility goddesses. Watch your step. Watch your step. Oh, this is beautiful. And the artworks. I don't see prices on anything. And there's the Minotaur.
See you 2 o'clock, eh?
Okay.
Beautiful. Wow. This is €340. Look at these light fixtures. Aren't they beautiful? Look at this light fixture right here. Right here. That's gorgeous. Yeah.
I got a bunch of those. You want to pull?
A Minotaur.
I'm stuck. Okay.
This clock.
Fancy that phone, yes.
I know, right? Meow, 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 It's beautiful. Quebec. All of these little pins here. Oh, look, there's a little goober in there. There's a little goober in there. Oh, Willie. There's a little goober in there. These light fixtures are stunning. Oh, looky.
Can I help you with something?
Oh, we're just taking it all in. It's so neat.
There's more upstairs.
Oh, there's more upstairs. Yeah, this is a real thin one. It's €15. Here's an incense burner, which I think is nice.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry.
It is nice.
Oops, sorry. Here's a little children's book. Hey, Audrey.
Yeah?
There's a little goober in here.
Little goober.
A little goober, a little prixie.
Professional.
Well, hello, we are back. Did you guys have fun today? Oh, it was so amazing, all of the history, going to the museum. I'm really hoping, I haven't checked, but I'm hoping the audio was good. Makes me a little nervous, but hopefully it was fine. But we are now in Rhythmios, Greece, and we're going to continue our journey here tomorrow. You can see there is the Aegean Sea behind me. We are in our hotel room here. Here it is. We're staying at the Melrose. The Melrose here in Rhythmios. And it's great. Trova Trip always puts us up in really nice accommodations, lots of amenities. There's a pool, there's a hot tub, there's a gym, there's restaurants, breakfast is always included, and this is a nice room. got a nice big closet, a great bathroom. Again, remember, we do not flush our poo-poo paper down the toilet. You put it in there. And let me tell you, if you get up and go pee-pee in the middle of the night, you forget. You forget because it's an automatic thing. But we got to remember, no poo-poo paper. No poo-poo paper in the toilet. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'm going to end today's vlog. We'll start again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going on a Jeep safari, so I'm excited about that. And we will do a little bit more exploring tomorrow, but I'm going to end the vlog because it was long. Did you have fun today, Mark?
I did.
What was your favorite part of today? Poo-poo paper. What was your favorite part of today?
I really liked going to the Knossos Palace first.
Yeah.
And they had some recreations of some pictures, which you saw, or
Yeah.
some of the sculptures and pictures.
The frescoes and
Yeah, they had some recreations. And then to actually see it.
The actual,
Yeah.
that, you know, as the paint is still there and everything, you know, they removed them to protect them. But yeah, I agree. Again, we're hoping that the audio was good. But we haven't checked yet. Fingers crossed. But all right, so we're gonna explore a little bit on our own down here. We're gonna join up with the rest of the group. Tomorrow will be an extremely fun day. I know you're really looking forward to the Jeep tour, and I am too. But I hope you'll join us tomorrow. And again, if you are thinking that you want to come along with us on another adventure, the next one is going to be London and Scotland. I haven't finalized anything yet, but you can go ahead and send me a message and I can put you on a waiting list if you are interested in going with us as a group to London and Scotland around this time next year. May is always a good time to go because before the busy season, the weather is nice, everyone's like they're emerging from their winter slumber and ready to be, you know, the flowers are in bloom. So it's a great time to go places, in my opinion. All right, we're going to go ahead and go, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.